Montessori Philosophy and Practice by Anne Rogers. Who was Maria Montessori? Born in 1870, Maria Montessori went on to become the first female doctor in Italy. She worked with children with additional needs and saw that given special educational training and methods, their education could be improved. She believed that hands-on activities would help children to learn. The process of educating the senses became the basis of the Montessori method. In 1906, Montessori opened her own children's house, the Casa dei Bambini, an infant school built within the slums of San Lorenzo. Here, Montessori was able to apply and develop her method and equipment for learning. She believed that if the methods she used helped children with additional needs, then they could help all children to learn. The children learned through spontaneous activity and independent learning, and she stressed the importance of early childhood. The Montessori method became known worldwide and continues to this day. So what is the Montessori method? The Montessori method is the teaching and educational program devised by Maria Montessori. She devised a set of apparatus and equipment for children to learn everyday concepts which still are used today. She believed that the children needed an environment designed to meet their needs for self-construction so that we may assist them in their learning. There are 6 principles of the Montessori method, and these are: number 1, freedom. In order to achieve freedom for the child to follow his or her natural impulses, Maria Montessori proposed a prepared environment. The safety provided by such an environment gave the child protection so that he or she could explore freely and develop his potential and his knowledge of the world around him. The child has freedom of movement from interference from other children and adults. This freedom gradually leads to a greater understanding of the world around him and therefore the freedom of choice. Number 2, structure and choice. The natural order of the universe should be reflected in the classroom. Through internalizing the order of the environment, the child begins to make sense of the world around them. There is a sensitive period for order. The directress helps the child to achieve order and structure in his environment by offering ground rules and guidance in the completion of his tasks, the work cycle. You often see in a Montessori classroom where the children can go and choose what they want to do, take it to a table or a mat, complete it and then put it away when they're finished. This is called the work cycle. Beauty. The interpretation of beauty to which Maria Montessori most often refers is harmony. This should be strived for both within the external and internal worlds. She refers to beauty as being that which is simple, not luxurious. In her meaning of beauty, she also included the attitude of human beings towards each other and the atmosphere which such an attitude creates. Nature and reality. Maria Montessori drew attention to the importance of allowing the child to grow up close to nature and encouraging him to become a keen observer of it. In the modern world, access to the natural world and awareness of it seems to be more important than ever. Reality in the classroom means that furniture and implements should be child-sized so that he is able to use them. The child is comfortable and free and so develops useful skills that have a purpose. 5. Social environment. The spontaneous impulse within the child to be a social animal is best fostered where there is freedom of interaction. Cooperation is encouraged, not competition. Vertical grouping where possible is preferable and more natural than grouping by age. The attitude of the caring for and awareness of others is fostered from a very young age. The intellectual environment. There are 5 areas of the curriculum within the intellectual environment, and these are practical life, sensorial, maths, language, and cultural. Using the handout provided, look at all the different areas and see what you have already in your setting and then fill in ideas that you may come across while looking at the rest of this PowerPoint and see if there's anything you may add. Practical life. As you can see from this picture, resources are laid out neatly next to each other. They range in difficulty from top to bottom and left to right. Each has its own tray so that it can be carried to the table and put away again afterwards. Children learn to recognise and remember which resource goes where and puts it back so that it will be available to them and others at another time. This leads to a sense of order. The main objectives for including activities of practical life within the Montessori curriculum are so that children can learn independence, concentration, coordination, self-esteem, self-awareness, orderliness in the classroom, and intellectual development. Children therefore learn to take care of themselves, the environment, and learn life lessons as well as social skills. Some materials have a tray underneath which acts as a control of error. Therefore, if the child spills something, it is quickly contained within the tray and can easily be cleaned up so that they may gain more control over their movements. Practical life activities. Some things that you will find on the shelf are dry pouring activities, whereby you may have 2 jugs on a tray and one of them might contain some dried pasta, and the child has to pour all of the pasta from one jug to the other, gaining control of error, using the tray underneath if anything slips or falls. You may have wet pouring, so again, instead of the pasta, have a jug of water or a funnel and a bottle that they have to pour the water into. Transferring objects from one side to another using a spoon maybe. Have some lentils in 2 ramekin dishes with a spoon and they have to spoon from one side to the other. Carrying exercises and cutting exercises are also usually there. Opening and shutting exercises. Try having a basket of little boxes or bottles that they have to use their fingers to open. Threading activities, so lacing beads or threading cards. Washing activities, so they have to wash the dollies, for example, and washing their hands certainly before snack time and after meals. Self-care, polishing and care of the environment are also very important in practical life activities. Sensorial. Sensorial apparatus provides the child with sensory motor activities which have been systematically planned for the 5 senses and so permit the child to form new concepts through experience and exercise. The child accomplishes one step at a time, gradually moving on to more complicated tasks. Where possible, each sense is isolated to provide an intense experience. Usually there is a control of error in the apparatus so that the child can correct their own mistakes. This promotes auto-education, which is more effective than being taught by another person. The role of the adult is to present the materials to the child and show them how to use them. Then, allow the child to explore them for themselves. The materials allow children to work independently and encourage self-discipline, as they are given to a child who is at the right developmental age and stage, therefore more likely to be successful in using them. The materials encourage muscular coordination and prepare muscles for other tasks such as writing. Some of the things that you'll see on the sensorial shelves are knob cylinders, a pink tower and a broad stair that complement each other, long rods, knobless cylinders which can be used together or separately and are all colour coordinated in size, width and height. You also have colour box 1, 2 and 3, sound boxes, Montessori bells, smell jars, barrack tablets, touch boards and a geometric cabinet. For maths, there are lots of different number games from 1 to 10, cards and counters, golden bead material, Seguin boards, black and white stair beads and bead chains, all to make lots of different number combinations with. Addition strip boards, subtraction strip boards, multiplication and division boards, operations charts, fraction material and balance scale all help to complement the math shelves. For language, there are sandpaper letters, an I Spy box, a book corner, insets for design, paper and writing books, large movable alphabet, small movable alphabet, and reading boxes, pink, blue and green. There are additional reading materials in pink, blue and green boxes, word and picture material with pictures, sentences and phonic material with pictures, reading books, puzzle words, phonic grammar boxes, and a farmyard with word cards. For cultural, there's botany, classified pictures, a nature table, leaf cabinet, cards for leaf cabinet, botany cards, and 2 globes. There's also cards and words for landforms, puzzle maps of the world, Europe, British Isles, flags of the world, people of the world, the weather, animals such as pet, fish, birds, reptiles and amphibian cards relating to animal puzzles, art painting easel, dressing material, glue, collage materials, clay, cards relating to art puzzles, musical apparatus, bell tone bars, chime bars and musical instruments. 3-period lesson. The first period is the association of the sensory perception with a name. Give the child a large cylinder and say, "This is large." Then give them the small cylinder and say, "This is small." The second period, recognition of the object correspondence to the name. Ask the child to indicate which is large and which is small. The third period, the remembering of the name corresponding to the object. Show the child the large cylinder and say, "What is this?" and then show the small cylinder and say, "What is this?" The 3-period lesson is very useful because it is very simple and very clear for the child. Roles within a Montessori classroom. The child's role is to respect the rights of the group and other individuals. Through play, the child will be led naturally to work. Freedom to choose their own direction. The parent's role is to be sensitive to the needs of the child, to see the child as having infinite possibilities to learn, to allow the home environment to be a learning environment too, to agree to communicate with the teacher on a regular basis, and to nurture and encourage your child to be the best that they can be. The teacher's role, to follow the child's interests and needs, to prepare an environment that is educationally interesting and safe, to lead the child to discover and develop their own capabilities, to observe, analyse, and provide materials and activities for the child's sensitive periods of learning, to maintain communications with the parent on a regular basis. Reflection time. Think of your own setting. What might you add to your classroom after attending this session? What else could you provide? Do you cover all 5 areas of learning in your setting? What about outside? Thank you for attending this session. I hope you've enjoyed it. My contact details are below should you wish to contact me.